Purple Daily is daily Vikings entertainment. We just want the Vikings to win a Super Bowl before we die.
I will ride with this group.
Seriously, man. Please.
And away we go.
Yeah. Let's go, dude. Trenches time here on Purple Daily. And Alex Boone got a little, I don't know, astigmatism or something with the glasses. Oh, no, that's not Alex Boone. That's Jeremiah Sirles.
A little less F-bombs in this one.
We do try to limit the Booney F-bombs on Purple Daily. You know, it's a little more PG-13 than the O-line committee.
It's fairly impressive how he can turn it on and off. Like, he's pretty good at it. Like, I understand there's a time for it and a time to, like, emphasize a point. But whenever I introduce Alex to new people, I'm like, listen, the F word is a noun, adjective, verb, descriptor. Like, it's part of the vocabulary. You just have to understand it.
Yeah, I feel like you're more judicious. You know, you'll sprinkle it in for effect as needed.
Yeah.
And Alex uses it like we use and, but, and commas.
Exactly. It's just, instead of it's...
Yeah. So Booney, Booney is, I think he's got hockey coaching tonight here. So Jeremiah stepping in for trenches on a short week for the Vikings. We're going to break down the good and the bad from that game against the Lions. And by the way, for Jeremiah and Alex, if you're looking for more of those guys, the O-line committee YouTube channel, go ahead and you guys are talking Vikings. I'm on there with you guys, but also just everything around the NFL from an offensive lineman perspective, film breakdowns. So check out the O-line committee YouTube channel if you want more from Jeremiah and Alex. Before we pull up some of this film and get your thoughts on the 5-1 Vikings, a shout out to Nicolay Law, the exclusive personal injury law firm of Purple Daily. So Nicolay Law knows that when you or a loved one gets injured, ordinary life can come to a stop. Things can get complicated. That's where Russell Nicolay and his team come in and help you get the compensation you deserve after an accident. So if you've been injured, get Minnesota's local award-winning injury lawyers. Get Nicolay at nicolaylaw.com or give them a call at 1-855-NICOLAY. Before I pop film up on the screen here, just your general thoughts on where the Vikings stand after that game. Are you, like, I actually come away probably just as confident, if not more, in their chances to make a run if they stay healthy, because they just went toe-to-toe with maybe the second best team, maybe the best team in the NFL. But what are your thoughts coming out of that game?
Yeah, I'm right there with you. You know, it's one thing to lose to the Rams. It's another thing to lose in a one-score kind of a coin flip, who gets the ball at the end of the game thing, to, I think, the most complete team in the NFL. Kansas City's the team to beat, right? They're undefeated. They have Patrick Mahomes. The defense is playing great. But Detroit is probably top to bottom, if you went position by position, offense versus offense, the most complete team in the NFL. And this was such a huge test for the Vikings because going in, the last 6 quarters of Sam Darnold has been questionable at best. And walking into this game, you're going, this could go really good or really bad or somewhere in between. And watching what Sam Darnold did, watching what the defense did to try and get after this juggernaut of a Detroit offense, I'm really pleased with where the Vikings are at. You're not going to win them all. It's not that league anymore. It's very hard. You're not going to win them all. But the confidence you can have to say, I can go toe-to-toe with these dudes on any given Sunday, I think boosts a lot of confidence. There are no moral victories in the NFL. It's win or lose. But when you're looking from the bigger perspective, looking down on it, there's a lot of confidence in Vikings Lakes right now.
Did the Lions crack a code with Brian Flores' defense that now is going to get duplicated, and it's a copycat league, right? So now if you're all the other teams on the schedule, the Rams and the Colts in a couple weeks, are you now just going to like control, copy, and paste what the Lions did? Or is what the Lions did unique to how good they are and the personnel and Ben Johnson and just everything they have going?
They're going to try. Everyone's going to try, and that's the cat and mouse game from a week in, week out perspective with the offensive and the defensive coordinators, right? They're going to see that the way that they beat the blitz was by hitting these kind of underneath 10, 11-yard routes right behind the linebackers, right in front of the safeties with the play action game. They're going to see that Detroit kept a tight end in to block more than leaving Jahmyr Gibbs back there one-on-one with the linebacker, which kind of lost him in the coverage aspect for him to escape. So there are some things there that teams are going to try to emulate with the schematically, But the hard part is it's the personnel that Detroit has and what makes this so scary. No one has a Jahmyr Gibbs and a David Montgomery sitting back there that puts the fear of God of you against their run game. So you have to sneak up there. You're playing against the Rams. Yes, they have Kyron Williams, they have Blake Corum, but it's not the front five, and you feel pretty confident with your matchups up there. So there are going to be some things there. The biggest thing for me is just shoring up more of the coverage in the back end. Cam Bynum getting caught with his eyes in the backfield, Metellus getting caught with his eyes in the backfield. Those type of things are more the stuff that showed up. I don't necessarily know if it's cracked the code, but there's definitely a blueprint out there now that other teams are going to try and emulate. But if you don't have the personnel to do it, then it doesn't really matter.
Yeah. All right, let's get right into it here. I'm going to pull this off the top so we can see the entire play developing here. And if you're listening on Apple or Spotify, it might be a good time even just to pull up YouTube for a visual here, or go back and watch later on, because these Trenches episodes are super visual, as former NFL offensive lineman, former Vikings offensive lineman, Alex Boone, and now Jeremiah Sirles walk us through and make us smarter here. So let's start with a fake punt gone awry here, Jay. This is early in the game. This is the first drive. It's 2.5 minutes into the game here. From Detroit's own 33-yard line, they need 7 yards? I think it's a 3rd and 7 here.
That's what it looks like, yeah.
I'm gonna roll this, and you played some special teams.
Can we just talk about this is just Dan Campbell? This is just I don't care what the analytics say. I don't care what you say. I don't care what you say. We're doing it, and I love that about him. He's unapologetically aggressive. It works out most of the time. Sometimes it doesn't. But he constantly makes you prepare for crap like this, right? You watch the tape, and you're like, oh, now I got to spend an entire period during the week on this, right? Because you just never know when he's going to knock it out again.
So, I'm just I'll lob some dumb questions at you here. So we're putting this dude in motion, but they see only 2 or 3 guys. I suppose they figure they have the numbers advantage on the right side.
Yeah, this is definitely something they saw during the week, right? Hey, this is something we want to take advantage of, and they might not have thought it was the first. But this is really just a great job of attacking and identifying. The Vikings looked like they were kind of ready for this. And that was the thing. This looks like a safe punt to me. Normally on punt return, you see guys with their hands in the dirt, ready to go rush, 3-point stance. Everyone kind of looks like their antennas are up and they're on high alert. So shout out to the special teams coordinator for the Vikings there to have the guys keyed in and locked in. And CJ Ham's looking directly in the backfield. And then as soon as they see this motion, you really start to see everyone flow right away. 54 identifies it immediately. And then he gets up the field here. And then you take away the option guy. And again, this isn't a quarterback who's running the option, but right here, you got to pitch it and give your guy a chance, right? You're dead here. You got to pitch it and give your guy a chance, but there was no shot in that. The Vikings did a great job sniffing.
Dude, they're running an option fake punt
from
their own 33-yard line.
I love it. I love it, dude. I'm here for it. Gamble it, let it rock.
Just one more time here. It's Asamoah that sniffs this out and makes the tackle here, but yeah, the Vikings were not really panicky here.
No, that's just a great job being prepared, and it surprised me that they did it as early as they did. Usually, that's when you try and catch them sleeping in the 2nd or 3rd quarter, where everyone's just like, "Oh, another punt," and they go for it. But in first one, everyone's still juiced up. That's some of those guys' first snaps of the game, right? They're all juiced up, and they're, "Hey, something's different, right? Something smells," and they go for it.
Yeah. Let's go even fuller screen here. So this is so there's going to be some good here, and then we're going to get to the bad, and then some more good, and then some bad. This is Aaron Jones, questionable all week with hamstring, hip coming out of the bye.
Lower half.
Basically lower body hockey injury. And this is the first play for Aaron Jones, and it goes very well from the 34-yard line. Untouched.
Very, very simple play. It's a very schematically a very simple play, and then this is just Aaron Jones being the difference maker. We saw it when he went out before the bye, how different this run game really was with him. But you see here, we're going to get a couple double teams on the front side. This slight motion to bring Addison inside is what really gets that corner to suck back up inside. If you go to the wide one more time, watch the initial motion from Addison, right? So Addison starts out wide. And when he comes back in, it brings this forced defender, this corner down here in the bottom of the screen. It brings him in just a touch, right? Just a little bit. And that's all he needs there because he has Addison in man coverage. So when he sees Addison dive across in there, he's thinking maybe this is going to be a shallow cross and Addison's going to try and scoot out on the other side, which has him deep down in there, and then Aaron Jones does the rest. But if you look at the front, Vikings should know we're running if you're playing the Vikings, they're running left, right? Darisaw, Brandel, Josh Oliver, sure, that's where we want to go. So you get a double team at the point of attack here with 71 and 64, Brandel and Darisaw. They move him right down there. Ed Ingram and Bradbury, shoulder to shoulder, hip to hip, denting the defense. It forces these linebackers to pull their guns early, right? You're moving the downs. Those linebackers suck up all the way in there. They disengage, and then this is just Aaron Jones having great vision.
So is this designed to hit?
That's
right
where
here?
It should hit. That's where it's supposed to hit. And you see Addison's trying to push in there to crack on that guy to come across, but because he overcommits and then this corner thinks Addison might be leaking out across, there's no contain less in the defense, and there goes 33.
I mean, this is why you pay him $7 million,
Yes.
right? Because I feel like a lot of running backs.
If that's Ty Chandler, he probably puts his foot in the ground and goes, "Oh, I'm going to go get 5."
Yeah.
Right. But Aaron Jones, the crafty vet that he is, and seeing everything at such a high level, he sees the opportunity for the big play and goes for it.
Yeah, and Ty Chandler, nice 4.3 40 coming out of college. He's shown some flashes, but another thing, and this didn't factor in on this play here, but Aaron Jones is one of the top 8 to 10 running backs in the league in yards after contact per attempt. Ty Chandler is, as of last week, dead last among running backs in yards after contact per attempt. So there's a huge gap between those two guys.
I mean, the difference between a great back and a good back at the NFL is the ability to keep balance through contact, right? I mean, there's a lot of really talented running backs in the NFL, but if you're getting tackled by one guy in the NFL, not going to work here for long.
Naga.
Not going to work here.
All right. Close your eyes here, Vikings fans. Keep watching, but we're going to give you some of the bad here.
I mean, this is a blitz off both sides. This is a saw blitz. You're bringing both guys off the edge here, and this is why you draft Jahmyr Gibbs in the first round, right? Remember, everyone was giving the Lions a ton of crap for you drafted a running back in the first round, but when you have Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery, so they motion Amon-Ra St. Brown across, they bring back into a fullback, they essentially get into an I formation here. And you can see there's a lot of eye candy and there's a lot of moving around. And that's one piece of what you want to do with the Brian Flores defense is you want them to tip their hand, right? They're so good at disguising. They're so good at where they're coming from. If you start moving around and they have a blitz called, they have to start checking, moving around. So they're bringing the free safety, Harrison Smith, coming off the edge here on the left side of your screen. So what does Goff do? He runs away from it. And when you run away from pressure, you can create lanes. And Penei Sewell here is the one that creates this lane. He feels right there the rock back, and he plants this on the guard's face, and then climbs. Right? That's the lane. And that's the fear of when you blitz. And if you get one guy that creates the lane, then that's where the hole can be. Right? And so Penei Sewell does a great job there. I mean, obviously, that's why you pay him as much as you pay him. And then Jahmyr Gibbs, one-on-one with Cam Bynum. Sorry, bud. That's gonna be a tough sell.
Sewell with the calling the touchdown there at the 20.
And then there's Williams too. Williams running down there, all PED'd up, ready to go down there and get a block.
That's why. I mean, let's go back. That's why the Lions won this game, man. Yeah. You got guys all jacked up on steroids,
juiced up there, ready to roll. But again, ridiculous. This is Goff just seeing things and getting put and having answers for the blitz. That's what makes this offense so elite.
So okay, here they are again. In the second quarter here, 35-yard line.
This is what I was talking about, getting caught with your eyes in the backfield, right? Metellus over here, he takes the cheese. And a lot of this is because this is cover 0, right? So you've got double mug A-gaps here. You've got Harry up on the line, right? You've got your 4 down known rushers. You've got Grenard. You got Phillips. I think that's Bullard over there, over the right guard. I'm not
90,
sure.
Yep.
And then Van Ginkel,
the gangster.
Right? Yeah. So you've got basically 7 guys on the line of scrimmage here. So this is a cover 0 check. So initially this is probably a 6-man protection called by the Lions. And Goff sees this up here, and he turns the whole protection into a full slide to the left. And you would assume then, okay, well then Montgomery's going to be on Van Ginkel coming here. But the great wrinkle to this is they actually bring Patrick all the way back across the formation, and he's the one that blocks Ginkle, right? And so Patrick's all the way down here on the bottom of our screen. You see him come in motion all the way across, and he actually is involved in the blocking scheme. He's not even out in a route. And so when you have cover zero like this, the DBs love to get caught with their eyes in the backfield because that's where they feel like, hey, they're going to be short, quick answers to cover zero. I'm going to get my interception here. I'm going to jump this route. Well, Goff just motions him across. He knows he's got his best wide receiver here. They're rocking and rolling. Boom. He comes in. He's in the protection. Penei Sewell clotheslines. I think that's Ivan Pace.
That's Pace coming, yeah.
Takes him down, and then he just has a clean pocket against a 7-man rush and delivers a strike here.
So you guys broke this down from kind of a Lions perspective on O-line committee. And I remember one thing you brought up is essentially if you're dealing with a hyper-aggressive blitzing defense like this, sometimes the best thing to do, and this is where I'd be worried a little bit, Vikings fans, just if you just slide protection left here and these guys are going to run a little twist, right? Mm-hmm. Well, if you're sliding left and Penei Sewell is essentially the last sweeper on the row, like you're just going to swallow all this up, right? Like the Vikings are running games here and the Lions are it's just a wave of the best offensive line in the NFL. Well, we'll just carry it all over here. Goff takes one step to his right.
And they think this is going to be a 6-man protection, like I said, and they only have 6 and they're bringing 7, right? They're banking somebody's going to get home, right? All 7 of these guys come. Right, all 7 of them are on the way, so they're banking someone's going to get home. Harry bails late, but he's not even a factor in this play. Yeah. And Metellus is the one that gets burned deep for this, and this is just an answer to cover zero. Usually it's a quick side adjust, but the other one's just send him deep, and I'll throw it as far as I can.
Poor Byron Murphy in there too. He's kind of a not the greatest season for him. So okay, now this is the interception here. This is Sam Darnold.
This was bad.
Not seeing a ghost that he should have seen.
Nope, he needed to see this one. Play action. Doink. I really think he just loses him. Like I really do. You know, you look at the coverage and he's on Addison the entire time. Right? He's on Addison the entire time. I love the use of play action, but if you go back to watch here, Addison is down here at the bottom of our screen, I think.
Yep.
Right. So, no, he's coming all the way across.
No, he's coming around. Yeah, he's coming around.
So, so all the way across, and so he comes in motion. They're running with him. So the pre-snap indicator here is man coverage, right? That's what that motion tells us. Hey, we run across, the corner follows. Okay, it's man coverage. When they come back here, this safety, he's just kind of playing the eyes of Sam Darnold because there's nothing else on this side of the field, on the right side of the hash, to draw his eyes. And that's where I don't know if this was a blown assignment by maybe one of the receivers down here is supposed to run up there, or they're hoping that someone's going to go here. The answer is the flat, right? Put it in the flat, easy completion and go. But this safety back here is literally, he has this deep half of the field, and this is the only person on this deep half of the field. Sam's got to see that, and he cannot throw that football.
Is this a touchdown for the Vikings if he throws it to Aaron Jones?
Yeah, because Jack Campbell has him. Watch 46, the middle linebacker. Here, Jack Campbell has him in man coverage, right? So the middle linebacker here has Aaron Jones in man coverage. Yep, right
44
there.
Or 46?
46, standing on the hash. Right.
Okay.
So
you're right here.
Yep. This guy has Aaron Jones in man coverage, and he's the one that gets caught up in the trash with the crossing route here. Right. So you see this right here. Here comes the cross. He gets caught up right there. I mean, it's a foot race between Jack Campbell and Aaron Jones to the touchdown. I mean, I think that's probably a touchdown. You pitch that, catch that out to Aaron Jones.
Man, that's tough. And
he doesn't even look that way, which is what was curious to me. You know, when I went back, first of all, unbelievable play.
It's a great play. Yeah.
But, he doesn't even really look over to Aaron, right? He's never really is looking to that side of the field. I mean, they've got the great threat of Johnny Munt covered up here. With
Johnny Munt, by the way, I think it was 5 targets for 8 yards in that game.
Oh, yeah, just stat padding the stats. But, this is just one of those things that those are the type of plays that can lose you close games like this. And, that was really the big blemish. But the bigger thing for me watching Sam is how long he holds on to the football. he's holding on to the football for a long time. And I get these are play actions. I mean, it's great. It's great. I mean, it's really good pass protection, even though everyone's on the ground, kind of looks crazy. But that's a very clean pocket. He has a chance here to get through his reads.
Yeah, where's that ball supposed? Like, when's it supposed to be out? So let's keep an eye on. If he gets it out early, does he avoid disaster here?
So back foot hits, in rhythm, bang.
I guess he's got to wait for this dude to.
But I think the first read here is, I mean, if that's not there, kick it to the flat, right? He's looking left. And again, I don't think this ball is meant to go over to the right just based off of there's no one clearing out that safety.
Yeah.
Like there's no one over there. The first read is probably this first cross, and then the second read should be to kick it out into the flat.
Man, by the way, you brought up time to throw. So we did our State of the Offense episode, which we do every Tuesday on the show. And Sam Darnold, now this is not necessarily an offensive line stat. It's just, I'm just going to give you the data. He has the longest average time to get rid of the ball of any quarterback in the NFL so far this year.
You better get Darisaw and O'Neal a very nice Christmas present.
But it's it's twofold though, right? I mean, it's, hey, offense, that could be a great offensive line stat, but it's also, do you want if he's a non-scrambling quarterback, so that's a pocket passer who's hanging onto the ball that long. I don't know. I think your observation is right. He does tend to play patty cake.
He plays patty cake, and it also just goes back to his decision making, his processing. It just all needs to speed up. Like, the ball's got to come out quicker than that. You know, it's just you're not going to make a living in the NFL. And again, 75 and 71 are probably the best duo of tackles in the NFL right now. But you really don't want to do that to them. Oh, and
then there's this one,
good,
though.
right? This is the good. Find 18, throw it up to him. But watch Darisaw here. This is just a man amongst boys, right? This is where they're really missing Aiden Hutchinson. This is where you're like, man, I really wish I had Aiden. Watch him just throw this dude to the ground like a rag doll, right? Takes great set, stays inside out, and then just go down and fall down. Like, he just throws him down. It's all
go to sleep.
It's all a bad dream. And then just an absolute dart by Darnold. But this is really good. This is just five guys. I mean, this is overload front, right? So you've got three guys stacked over here to the right. You got the nose, the three technique, the DN, and then you're creating the one-on-one with Darnold, and then Blake Brandel here is going to read 44. It essentially turns into a 5-0 because 44 comes here, right? So boom, 44 comes. They run a line game over here. Nice job flattening the penetrators and then coming back, and then Bradbury comes off on the looper here. That's for Russian 5, you're expecting someone to get into his feet. Bradbury's a little late here, but gets just enough of them. Yeah. That's just a great pocket for him to be able to operate and throw out of.
This catch too, by the way. I mean, I know it's
almost like you look and you're like, oh yeah, he caught it. But like, he's so good. Like, that is not an easy catch. Falling away.
He starts his fall. By the way, like, this is a purposeful fall to create space. All hands. It's
Lands
just
in the end zone.
Third down too, I believe. Yeah, this was a third down.
Yeah.
That's a
Vikings fans, we're just routinely used to seeing that, but it is such a special talent to have a guy like that.
All right, so Vikings again trying to put something together, chip away here. You talk about Christian Darisaw.
This breaks your brain to watch. You've stood next to Darisaw, right?
Yeah.
If you've not stood next to this man, you don't understand how big he truly is. He's a massive, massive human, and he's got feet like a dancing bear right here. Boom, pass off the stunt. Oh, I'll just turn around and come out and have perfect contact balance when I get to you, right? I'm going to use my hands and flatten the penetrator because this is that overload front again. And this is where, if, Vikings fans, we're going to see Detroit again. This is 93 over here over Brian O'Neill. This whole front is created because that was supposed to be Aiden Hutchinson.
Right.
This whole idea of how, and they're going to have to re-scheme some of their things, but this whole idea of overloading to one side is the idea of creating your one-on-one matchup with who's supposed to be your best pass rusher, which they don't have anymore.
So you're trying to pull everything over this way if you're the Lions.
Yes.
And then so that if this was Aiden Hutchinson over here, he just has all of this space to operate.
Correct.
Right?
Correct. And that's how their scheme is built. And they're going to have to rebuild that. But, when you get this, it's automatically alert games. right? So they're running games. They go down, the two outside guys come in, and then the inside guy loops for contain, right? So Brandel passes it to Bradbury. Ed Ingram's there with the wall. They chip out on the right side here for O'Neal. And then right here, so Darisaw throws his guy all the way across, all the way to the center. And then just is like, oh, I'm not in great body position here, so I'm just going to turn. Like, he's facing Sam Darnold. He's looking, and he's just turning. You can see his horn start to turn. And this is the part for me. When he makes contact, it's immediately back to balance. Boom.
That's
Immediately
wild,
back
man.
to balance. I mean, that is, like, you go pound for pound athletic moves. Like, that is impressive. That is as impressive to me as what Jefferson just did in the end zone. Right, like what he
Also,
just did and how he made
like
that
tossing
catch.
this dude right into the back
He shot
of.
puts him. He just shot puts him across the line of scrimmage. You go that way, I'll spin back over here and just eat you up. And I think that's McNeil. That's a very good pass rusher interiorly for the Lions.
Man.
He is so fun to watch. And then there's our boy Aaron Jones,
pass catching Aaron Jones, just
deep
ridiculous,
down the field.
man.
I mean, not an out route, not a swing route. I mean, that is a 20-yard down the field route by Aaron Jones. Good luck linebackers covering that.
All right, I got more for you here in just a second, but I want to draw the audience's attention here. People have asked old Declan and I, where do you guys get those hats, those cool hats that you've been rocking on the show here? Well, let me tell you about Legendary Golf Company. Legendary Golf Apparel is a veteran-owned, family-operated company based right here in St. Paul, Minnesota, and they make awesome clothes. They've got the purple collection right now. They got the maroon and gold collection. So if you go to lgndy.co, use the promo code PURPLE at checkout for 10% off your order. Again, veteran-owned, family-owned, based in the Twin Cities. They just launched in 2022, and they donate a portion of all of their proceeds to veteran organizations. lgndy.co, promo code PURPLE at checkout for 10% off your order. Definitely check them out. Also, if you're like me and maybe you're not Tom Brady eating kale smoothies for every meal and being as healthy and you're not on the Jeremiah plan where you're just eating chicken breasts and romaine lettuce or whatever. That's where AG1 comes in. So AG1, trusted by top athletes all over the world, is a simple and comprehensive foundational nutrition supplement for whole body health. Taking care of your health shouldn't be that complicated. AG1 simplifies it by replacing multiple health supplements like multivitamins, digestive aids, immune support, and putting it all into one simple scoop or one of these AG1 travel packs. So if there's one product that I had to recommend to elevate your health, it's AG1. And if you want to take ownership of your health, it starts by trying AG1. Get a free 1-year supply of vitamin D3K2 and 5 free AG1 travel packs with your first purchase. Go to drinkag1.com/purple daily. That's drinkag1.com/purple daily. So let's go full screen on this one here. Let's go back to this incredible football game here, Jay.
Game of the week, dude. It was by far the best game of the weekend.
Yeah. It was, I feel like, and now the Vikes got flexed in a couple weeks to Sunday night with that Colts game. I feel like we're going to get maybe another Sunday night game at some point coming down the pipe.
When you're good, the attention comes.
Yeah. And when you're the Browns and you're the Jets.
11 a.m. kickoffs, man. 11 a.m.
So, all right, this is Sam Darnold. I believe he is second in the NFL in yards per attempt on deep passes. And when it comes to deep passes, even going back to mini camp and training camp, every practice he was good for 2 50-yard connections to Addison. So we know he can do what you're going to see on this one right here. The intermediate stuff, a little more dicey, but he can drop it in the bucket from 50 yards, man.
I honestly think he's more comfortable throwing the ball as hard as he physically can, as far as he can, than he is on a 10-yard hitch route. I think he has more confidence in that. This is a great job. Again, blitz pickup is the name of the game to start this with. So if you go back, oh, what a dart. But if you go back and look at the start of this, so they're in a 6-man protection here, and the right guard and the right tackle are locked on the 3 technique in the right defensive end. And then Blake Brandel here is reading the triangle. So 45, Jack Campbell out here is his first read. His second read is this guy out here. I'm not sure who that is on the hash, right? And
This guy out here.
And so this is called a sort protection. And the way you sort is you sort inside out. So if my first read sit, bounces, or bails, immediately I'm saying out, 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 out to my tackle, telling him we can pick up anything else. This is the way that you can get the back out. It's not locking in. You're taking two of the most dangerous three, right? So Brandel immediately reads, hey, this is pressure off the edge. He's telling out, out, out to Darisaw. He stays inside out. Bang. Punches here, takes the looper. Darisaw takes the guy off the edge. And then they run a twist game over here on the right side.
So real quick, Darisaw starts this. When the ball snapped, Darisaw is thinking, I got edge rusher guy.
Yeah, tackles need to be tackles are listen, I love my tackles. I was a tackle. We have our hands full. Right?
Yeah.
These dudes are a lot. The guards who triggers, hey, if I don't say anything, you just stay right there and do your job, what they pay you a lot of money to do.
But if he reads that this dude is not coming.
This dude's not coming, I'm gonna kick us out here so that we can pick this guy up so that Aaron Jones can get out in a route. Right? And Brandel sees him right away. He's a blind dog in a meat house. He can't help himself. Right, this linebacker's creeping off the edge. So they pick that up beautifully. They're running a TT over here. And this is where, at Ingram, you got to stay a little bit more square, my friend. Like, you can't pass these stunts off if you're turning your shoulders. And this is a hard thing to do because the center is going away from you. So he comes right here, but right there, that turn of the shoulders right there is going to what's caused him to get picked. He needs to be much more square in this. Bradbury does a decent job flattening him around. But you can see here, they're getting creased, and this looks like this guy's going to come right up the pipe here. Aaron Jones saves the day, right? Aaron Jones comes in here. He sees that this dude's creasing between Bradbury and Ingram and just puts his face right in a defensive tackle. Like, watch this in real time. If Aaron Jones doesn't do this, this is a sack. This is a sack, right? Because, boom, he's splitting those two guys. And then Bradbury is coming off on the looper. Ed Ingram's not blocking that guy from that position. Yeah. This dude's coming up and smacking Sam Darnold in the face.
He still gets smoked on this throw,
He still gets smoked. Bradbury gets pushed back into him. But the delivery and everything here is phenomenal by Sam. But it all starts up front. Picking up the blitz, passing off the stunt. Aaron Jones being a savvy vet and chipping his way out.
Looking for work.
Back foot hits. Step up, climb the pocket, release.
Boom. So one more dumb question here on this play.
Yeah.
If Aaron Jones doesn't stick his nose in here and kind of clean this up, Bradbury has to stay engaged longer, right? Like, Bradbury
can't pass it to no one.
Right.
Right. But I think because Bradbury feels the bump, right? Like, he doesn't know if it's Ed or someone, but he feels a bump right here, right? Aaron Jones gives him kind of okay, I feel a body presence there. I feel like I'm satisfied to get off on the looper. Yep. Right. If Aaron Jones isn't there, no, he has to just continue to watch that, and you let the guy furthest away from the quarterback free, which would be that looper coming right up the pipe.
So here's another question for you. All right, I know you guys love PFF with all your souls, but is this a situation where Garrett Bradbury probably gets dinged for a pressure that's not really his fault? This is a pressure. This is a pressure.
Yep.
But he's doing his job. He's passing this off to Ingram, who's not there because Ingram's out of position. Mm-hmm. Jones cleans it up. Bradbury has done his job so far, and now he's got to come over and essentially pick up the looper, right? Mm-hmm. And he does, but it's all happening kind of late because Ingram. That's my interpretation. I'm also just an idiot.
This is a pressure on him because if you go back and if you're looking at it from a technical technique standpoint, right when Bradbury makes contact with this looper, his hands are out wide. He doesn't punch him, and so this guy's controlling the rep. Right here, he needs to strike him.
Okay.
Right? You see those black elbow pads way out wide. That means he didn't strike him. He didn't use his hands. He's catching him, and now he's in his chest, and he's turning the block into a drive block. Right? If he sits here and right here lets his hands go and stones him right there, he's not giving up a pressure. But because he doesn't use his hands, he allows him to push him back into the quarterback's lap.
Got it. Look at that. The more you know.
You
We're all learning here. So okay, now this is where the Vikings took the lead on that defensive play, and so the Lions have like a minute and I think they had 2 minutes left. Because they hit the 2-minute warning. They ran a run play to get to here, to the 47-yard line, but they need a field goal to essentially win the game. So you're the Vikings defense, and you got about 20 yards of cushion before you get into field goal range, and this is where the Lions go to work.
This is just a brilliant play call. Again, you know Flores is going to dial something up. You know he's in crunch time. We want to try and push you. You're getting close to that field goal range. So they start in a diamond front, right? So there's 5 guys up on the line of scrimmage. Your 3 interior covered. You got the Gangster out here, and I think that's Grenard out there over 87. So you're kind of selling out to stop the run here, and you're thinking, okay, they're gonna go 5-0 here. Everyone's gonna be picked up. But what happens here is they run a play action. Right, you have 2 tight ends in the game, so you have your base personnel in the game, and so you don't let the defense know, am I running or am I passing? Right, they have to respect both here because you have both tight ends in the game, and so right here they run a play action, and Ivan Pace immediately is thinking, this is run all the way. I got to get myself up in here, right? I got to get up in here because here comes Gibbs flying down, so he runs up in there thinking it's a run. You got Gennard watching Goff now. And no one's responsible for Jahmyr Gibbs. Now, someone is. I'm not sure who. My guess is if you look at Grenard, go back, he kind of does the oh shit and hits his head when he turns around. Because if this is a true called blitz by Ivan Pace here, then someone has to peel on the back. And right here, oh no, right? Like, so I'm thinking he probably had peel, but because he thought it was a run, he didn't go to the pass protection mode right away because of the play action there, and that just allowed Gibbs to sneak out there.
Man.
But again, it's because you're not in 11. If you're in 11, you're thinking pass. But when you're in 12 personnel with 2 tight ends in the game, you're thinking probably run first with this team, right? With this team, with what they want to do. And look at that play fake by Goff. Like, that's a excellent play fake. The way that's vintage, like Aaron Rodgers stuff, right? Stick it way out there, dangle it way out there, and then pull it back in. And again, Goff hits his back foot, one hitch, ball gone.
Jared Goff's last 3 games are among the best 3-game stretches in the last 10 years. And I know that there's been like some playoff runs by guys, but like in terms of just numbers, and they have more touchdowns than incompletions in the last like 3 weeks.
He is playing the best quarterback in the NFL right now. Right, Mahomes is down, everyone's down, no one's having he is by far playing as the best. This is as trusting your arm talent as you can get. Right, those are 2 of someone at one point the best in the business between Gilmore and Boone brought it up. Gilmore and Harrison Smith back there, and you're willing to throw that into double coverage. That's just having confidence in your cannon. Right, you're coming across here. Gilmore's coming off on this. Harry's driving on it. Like that's a well covered. That's a tight window he's got to deliver that ball into.
You give it the end zone look here.
So now you're in your even, right? You've got 6 guys up again.
Well, and they 12, might run it. They have a timeout,
12 personnel, right? 12 personnel again. And this time you're coming through here and you're keeping your tight end into block. Your backside tight end's now into block the Gangster. And so now it's basically just one-on-ones across the board. There's 6 guys on the line of scrimmage. We're saying, hey, one-on-ones. Penei Sewell, Frank Ragnow, Graham Glasgow, Taylor Decker, earn your money, boys. Earn your money, right? This is a nice move by Harrison Smith on the crossface against Ragnow, but he's able to just flatten him off a bit. You see Penei Sewell out here. They've got them all cleaned up. Look at that pocket, man.
Well, can I also say that did Grenard, so watch Grenard here. I mean, Grenard, who just got fooled on the last play, right? And he kind of holds up here. He's not full on rushing Jared Goff. If you watch him, right? He's okay. Let's. I'm not sure.
Do I have the back again? I don't think I have the back again, right? And just creates that much confusion. But it's just the confidence that Jared Goff's playing with, and then the Vikings trying to make a play, right? They've been able to get to Goff, and it's not like they didn't get crushed by this game, but there's just enough little things there that fell towards the Jared Goff side. Yeah. And this is where when you have a Goff-type player and it's the chess match between Flores and Ben, their OC, going back and forth, you're going to win some, you're going to lose some. But when you have an elite-level quarterback playing at the end, that's kind of where you give the head nod and say, you go win this for us, right? You go deliver it for us. And Jared Goff went down the field with the Gibbs pass, and then obviously the last one there, the dagger to Amon-Ra St. Brown.
You know, the good news for the Vikings, Jay, they always say it's tough to beat a team 3 times in one season. And the Vikings don't have to worry about that now. all the pressure's on the Lions the next 2 times these teams play in January, huh?
The one thing that would have been nice, winning this game would have been to have that little bit of a buffer on the Lions.
Yeah, tiebreakers.
That tiebreaker, all that stuff, because now you can't afford a hiccup later in the season. Right? No. They're going to be pressing, you're going to be pressing, and it's going to be coming down the stretch of it's going to be 1 or maybe 2 games that make the difference. It would have been nice to have that little bit of a buffer. But again, you have all the confidence in the world that you can play with these guys.
Super fun game. I know Vikings fans, although it kind of felt like 24 hours, like people were really mad on Sunday and we do our Vikings vent line and people were really disappointed. But man, you're 5-1. If I would have told you 6 months ago with Sam Darnold as your starting quarterback, you're going to beat the Niners, who were healthy at the time. You're going to beat the Texans. You're going to beat the Packers at Lambeau. You're going to have 3 touchdown leads on all of them at some point. You're gonna start 5-1. The only loss being a heavyweight fight back and forth that you also, we didn't talk about this, but with 15 seconds left, you talk about holding onto the ball too long. And I'm nitpicking here, but Vikings get the ball back with 15 seconds left, no timeouts. Lions at the very end of the game, Lions kick the ball through the end zone. And Greg Olsen was saying on the broadcast that he'd probably kick it short and make the Vikings run some clock on the kick return. So I think they made a mistake. They kicked it through. So Vikings get the ball at the 30-yard line. Lions are playing essentially Hail Mary prevent defense. And Darnold, he kind of plays patty cake for like 5 seconds. They hit the 20-yard completion over the middle, but it was such a mad dash just to get up and spike it that nobody was really able to get set. So they wind up with, I think they didn't have somebody covering up on the left side of the line of scrimmage. But it would have been a 67 or 68-yard field goal, which would have been an NFL record. Instead, they bounce it back 5 yards to make it a 73-yard. They throw a Hail Mary. But all I'm saying is, like, you were a 5-yard penalty away from maybe having one of the best kickers in the league line up for a sort of makeable kick. So, I don't know, man. I'm pumped to watch these teams play at least one more time, maybe 2 more times.
Yeah, and the thing for the Vikings, too, is there's no reason to think, back to the drawing board. Right? You just do what you've been doing. Like everyone's, what do we have to do to fix this? You don't have to fix anything. You're 5-1, right? Don't hit the panic button. Don't hit the redraw button. Just stay the course. You're going to get better. The Lions are going to get better. Everyone's going to continue to get better as the NFL season progresses. Don't change what you're doing. Stay with what you've been doing to be in the win column.
Amen. He's Jeremiah Sirles, former Vikings offensive lineman. You can find him on the O-line committee with Alex Boone on their YouTube channel. And appreciate you guys hanging out with us here on this episode of Trenches. Jay, go get some rest. Big game on Thursday. Big weekend. Who are your Cornhuskers playing this weekend?
Ohio State.
Okay. We'll fast forward to November.
In Ohio State.
Oh, no.
Big noon kickoff.
Can't be any worse than playing in Indiana, though.
We figured it out last week. We got the kinks out of the hostile road environment of Bloomington.
Dude, you guys basically put College game day in Bloomington with that game last weekend.
That's our fault. We'll wear that. I thought it was going to be Vandy, Texas. I thought they were going to go to Vandy. I thought that was going to be game day. Can Vandy knock them off again? I don't know.
Be amazing if Vandy just made a run, beat all the top-ranked teams. All right, Jay, good stuff. Thanks for stepping up here.
Anytime. Always filling for the Rhino.
This is Purple Daily Vikings entertainment. We just want the Vikings to win a Super Bowl at some point before we die.